My name is Roman Yavich, and I'm the founder of Learn from Travel. 2020 was definitely a tough year for us. We had 6 different programs scheduled for the early part of the year, and they all got canceled, unfortunately. First of all, we had to figure out how those cancellations worked because some of the programs were canceled days or just a week before they were supposed to take place. So we had to work with the clients to issue refunds. We had to work with our providers, the vendors in countries all over Latin America, to negotiate credits. Luckily, everybody was very flexible. I think everybody understood the unique circumstance, the emergency. So we were able to issue refunds to a lot of our clients and keep credit for them for future programs. That was really great to be able to maintain those relationships both with our clients and with some of our partners in the different countries. Beyond that, our biggest adaptation was to really start thinking about virtual programs and how we can still travel to international destinations, but in a way that's safe and quite frankly digital. There's still a lot of uncertainty. The vaccine. We're recording this in mid-January, so the vaccine is still being developed and deployed. And I really think that by the end of this year, travel will be safe again. Obviously, time will tell. But in the meantime, I think that faculty and students should just start preparing for study abroad, whether it's virtual or travel. So with a lot of our partners, we're working on virtual programs while also planning travel programs in 2022. Study abroad is going to be permanently altered by the pandemic in a way that's similar to what other industries are experiencing. And that is, people are realizing that you can do some of these things virtually or without actually having to travel, because ultimately the goal is international education. The goal is to expose students to other cultures and other beliefs, other viewpoints, from around the world, and to a large extent you can do that with virtual programming. You can definitely expose students to culture and to other languages through Zoom calls and other types of virtual experiences. I really think that that is going to become a core part of the offering of study abroad for students who might not otherwise be able to travel because of time or because of financial limitations. Virtual programming is going to become another great option. Right. So we haven't traveled since COVID. So we haven't had to implement our redesigned risk and safety protocols, but we're definitely redesigning them. We want to make sure that students are safe while they travel. So that includes social distancing and mask wearing, kind of the basic standard things. We're working with faculty to ensure that we are offering lodging that they feel is safe. So whereas before we might have offered a lot of hostels or multiple occupancy, now we're really offering more of the double occupancy and even single occupancy if that's required. So that's really part of the customization that we go through with each faculty person we work with. We see what they're comfortable with and what they prefer. So that's just an example. We're getting bigger buses to help people spread out while they're traveling, and obviously designing emergency procedures for if somebody does get sick. Not just prevention, but also what happens in an emergency if somebody's sick and they need to quarantine. We're training our guides on how to handle those kinds of situations. We have lots of virtual programs planned, and we have one travel program planned for the very end of the year, to Brazil. So by late December, we're hoping that the pandemic is history. So we'll obviously go with the guidance of the CDC and the State Department, and obviously the university that we're working with to make sure that we're not endangering anybody by traveling. But I'm optimistic that by December we'll be able to travel again. And the virtual programs we have scheduled all throughout the year, a lot that are taking place over spring break, all over Latin America. And there seems to be a lot of interest from our clients from our various universities and colleges that we work with on virtual programs, everything from business to marine biology. We're doing 360-degree scuba diving, with virtual reality viewers. We're doing collaborative projects with Panamanian students and American students. We're doing internship placements. We're working with each faculty person to understand what the subject matter is, what are the objectives for the course, and then finding really unique guest speakers from all over Latin America. We're hopefully doing our first program in Africa and Sierra Leone. So we're really excited about all the virtual programs that we're doing. With virtual, it's really challenging to make these things stand out from what the students are doing the rest of their semester, right? So with a travel program, let's say it was over spring break, you might have students going hiking, they're visiting businesses, they're going on an amazing travel experience that is really the highlight, I think, for many students of not just their semester but their whole academic career. And with virtual, it's really hard to achieve that same level of excitement, right? Because at the end of the day, it's you're in front of your computer. We're really trying to innovate in how to make these programs as interesting as possible given the medium. And so, for example, instead of just having a guest speaker, we might have multiple speakers sharing different viewpoints. We recently did a program in Chile where we had somebody from the forestry company share their sustainability practices. And then we also had an indigenous community activist share their concerns for the environment and the depletion of the forests that the forestry company was causing. So we're able to kind of get these two opposing viewpoints on the same topic, which I thought was enlightening to the students who participated. And we're trying to just make it as technologically advanced and interesting as possible. So we're looking at Google Earth or 360-degree videos on YouTube using VR goggles like Google Cardboard to make the experience as close to travel as possible. I think that the biggest area for improvement is the actual technology that we can use for virtual reality experiences. So right now we're using Google Cardboard. It's a really affordable virtual reality viewer that uses your phone, but the resolution on it isn't as good as somebody might be used to when they're just viewing a regular video. It's a little glitchy, it's a little pixelated. So I'm really looking forward to the cost of the higher end virtual reality viewers coming down so that we could start applying that in some of our programs. Right now, we're using a lot of content on YouTube and other publicly available content online, but I'm looking forward to being able to shoot customized footage for the various professors and universities, colleges that we're working with, so that we're able to deliver really custom experiences to them based on their course objectives. A lot of virtual programs are going to start to become increasingly more virtual reality and augmented reality. So we're excited to be a part of that trend. I think it's a great option for faculty. One of the reasons it's even better than travel study abroad is because it's more affordable. So it's available to a bigger fraction of their students. Students who otherwise might not have the time or the money to travel may be able to experience international education virtually. And that may lead them to travel later. It's also logistically oftentimes easier. So for example, where if we travel, we might just go to one country and just visit one or two small parts of it. With a virtual program, you can visit multiple countries. You can travel to places that are very, very hard to access. So logistically, it's easier. It's faster to put together. With travel programs, a lot of times we're planning 12 months out. With virtual programs, we can put them together in just a few weeks. We're working with a number of colleges and universities who are now marketing their programs to students, whether they're virtual or travel programs. And I think they're doing that cautiously. I think a lot of times they're telling students that if it's a travel program, obviously we still have to make sure that the travel restrictions are lifted and that it's safe to do so. With virtual programs, there's demand among students for those programs because for many students, especially ones who are graduating, they know that they're not going to have any other chance to do any kind of an abroad program. So there's definitely demand. I think the marketing for virtual programs is, I guess, similar to travel programs, but maybe in some ways it's also more virtual. So rather than putting posters up on campus, where a lot of students are now taking classes from home, more of the marketing is done via email and other digital means. So we're putting together, for example, PowerPoint presentations, videos, digital posters that faculty or the study abroad advisors can send to students. I'm looking forward to really learning about how these virtual programs work. So we've done a few of them now, and in March we're going to do 6 or 7 simultaneously. So during the spring break week, I'm looking forward to seeing how that works, how students respond, how the virtual reality components work, and if students like that or not. This is going to be something that's lasting. I think that virtual reality is not just a replacement for travel. I think it's going to be a complement to travel once travel resumes. So we might be doing modules before departure to get students prepared for visiting that country. We might be doing modules after they come back to the United States to continue the relationships they might have developed with some of the companies, nonprofits, and people that they met abroad. The experience this year with virtual study abroad is going to help us determine our strategy going forward in terms of providing this as an ongoing service to our clients. So I'm excited for 2021, and I'm optimistic that travel comes back too. This is the longest that I have gone in my life, I think, since I was 18 without traveling. I'm really looking forward to getting back into that.